Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by Togen's Fly Shop, Maui Jim Sunglasses, and Hardy Rods and Reels.
Good day everyone. Today on the bench I'm going to tie up kind of a little hidden treasure of mine. It's a bunny bugger. It's a fly that I've developed and fished for quite some time, and if you want a soft, breathable fly that really moves and swims well in the water, an attractive fly, this one will cover it all. And you can tie it in so many different sizes, colors for any species. So let's go over the materials we need to tie this fly. I'll tie you an olive one today. We're going to use a Daiichi streamer hook. This is a 2220 size 8. I'm going to put some 020 lead on the shank. We're going to be using some small green wire, some good soft wire we can spin a dubbing brush with. The underbody, I'm going to be using some crystal chenille, then medium. And the hackle, the whole fly is going to be made of rabbit crosscut. And I like to use, you see the nice tips, these are barred tips on the end. You can get all colorations of rabbit out there now. There's so many companies dyeing this in different colors. You can make some really neat looking flies with this. There's absolutely endless opportunities here for you on this one. And if you do not have a spinning vise like I have here, an oar vise, get yourself a dubbing block. You can make them with a block of wood. You can buy them. They're not a lot of money. I'm sure you can find them online. They're basically just going to be winding the wire and either the thread or just wire. You can make your own brushes. So here we go. Let's get the fly in the process here. I'm going to back my camera off a little bit so you can see me spinning the hair on and so forth. I think it'll be better if we look at it from a little bit of a distance. I'm going to take some 6/0 black thread. I use black on all my weighted flies. I'm just going to put lay a bit of a thread base on here, stop everything from rolling around. Gives you a good base to start with. Come in here with some 020 lead wire. You can go with heavier wire if you like. You can go right up to 035 on larger hooks, of course. You can go with so many different sizes, large, small. This is basically, I'm going to show you the concept of this, and you can use your imagination and colors and sizes. You can take anything, saltwater fish right up, bass, trout, fish in rivers, lakes, streams. This is one fly that will not disappoint you. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I've got that wrapped in. Cut this off close to the skin, like the crosscut, because the rabbit is coming off at the right angle to the hide. When they're cutting zonkers, that's really for wings. Going behind, and I've got a good tight turn on there. I don't put any flash on that tail. It's a short tail, but it's a fly that'll move in the water like nothing I've ever seen. It really creates so much movement. The fish are almost stagnant. The fish will eat it just sitting there in the water. That's why I don't like it sometimes too weighted. Depends how you want to fish it or what you're fishing for. You can make those choices, but when it's light, it swims a lot easier or nicer than a fly that it's really weighted heavily. But if you're fishing heavy current, of course, and you want to get it down, you're going to need the weight. So it's a trade-off. Okay, I'm just going to go to my dubbing table there. I've got my wire tied in. Now on the table, I've got my thread laying there. I'm going to cut my rabbit for the hackle and lay those butts right tight to the end of right on top of the thread, so I get as much length as I need for the size of the hook. And I want the fairly sparse on the table. I'll take a little bit extra. If I have a little extra, I can always tie it off. I don't need to worry about adding if I'm short. But after you tie a few, And the size, you'll get the idea how much you really need. Something very important when you're working with hair, doing brushes, you're going to want some dubbing wax, or else it's really slippery and hard to handle. I'm going to put a little wax on my wire here, and that'll hold the rabbit between the thread and the wire when I lift it off the table. It's not going to slip out. I'm just going to go backwards. I just wind it counterclockwise the way I'm going to wrap my hackle later. It seems to wrap nicer when you do that. So there you have a dubbing brush. And you can make those and just leave them to the side. They're fine. You can make a bunch of those and use them later, just like a. You don't have to. You can pre-make them, and a lot of guys, that's what they do with pike flies and you name it. So I've got a little bit of wire to use up here. I'm just going to wrap my crystal chenille in there, tie it in, and I'll preen these hackle back rabbit. When I come together, I'm just going to wrap both together as I go. You can wrap it by hand, you can turn it by, if you have an Orvise, you want to go that way, fine. But make sure you don't pinch down your hair. That's the secret. You want to basically the chenille tight on the body, give it the attraction, and the hair just coming over the top. I tie a few different patterns that way, and it works great. Okay, now I want to get this chenille done. Get that out of the way so I can take an extra turn of my hair at the front. So you got a little extra, that's fine. Just wrap around the eye, and then I can cut off my loop balance that I got left over and pull that back out of the way. Get yourself a little black thread on there. Head on, don't need too big, and just get it whip finished. Put some head cement on that, and it'll fish all day. It's very durable, very breathable, and when it's wet you're going to see these materials breathe and swim just on their own. You can just hang that in the water or the current and you'll just see how it just comes alive, and it'll pulsate really, really nicely in the water for you. But it's kind of like my enticer flies. I've always put the sparkle, all the shiny materials in the center, because when it's wet, when it's pulling, it's under pressure. You can still see a little bit of that glint, but it doesn't overtake the pattern, and you'll see it when it's wet and it swims. So that's a great little fly for you there. It's a little bit nasty to get onto the handling the hair maybe for a while, but don't be disappointed. Keep working on that. That's a fly that, well, it'll take over your fishing boxes. You'll have all kinds of colors and sizes of this because it is super, super effective. There's nothing more breathable than the rabbit, and or one of the best materials out there I've ever found. And so all the best for that. Brent's Bunny Bugger, and keep in touch with me. Let me know how it works for you. I'd really, really like to hear some stories, see some pictures, because I know you're going to catch some really nice thick trout with this one. You're going to be very, very happy you learn how to tie it. So, and also look forward to seeing some new color combinations from you folks out there. So thanks again for watching Sports Fishing on the Fly. We'll catch you again real soon.